It is so nice to see you. How are you doing?
We're fine. We're home in East Hampton, so like you, we got green around and nature, so we can survive. We're very lucky.
Oh,
Where are
beautiful.
you?
I'm at my home in Los Angeles.
Oh, good, good. So you're
Yes.
sunny and warm. Here it's still
I,
cold, but listen,
yes.
I'm so excited that we can talk about our love of elephants. We
I'm so
watched
honored
last
to be
night, the
invited.
whole
Yeah.
family. We watched again your movie last night, and it's so powerful. It's so powerful. You're
I,
incredible to have done that. It's so good, so good.
I cannot tell you what that means, really. Thank you so much. And I'm so honored to be asked to join this conversation. So thank you.
Well, we're delighted to have you. You've done an incredible thing. So, talk to me how you found Lake originally, and I mean, obviously, once you know the story, it moved you to do something, and you were amazing to do it. But
Oh,
talk a little bit about that, if you don't mind.
yes, of course. Well, I was raised in a very environmental and eco aware household, and Lek has kind of been a rock star of conservation for me, and her
Yeah.
work just in going against her entire family to devote her life to saving elephants was something I've admired and regarded as a little girl. A
Uh,
very close family friend runs the Cambodia Wildlife Sanctuary,
I see.
and in order to start rescuing elephants, he partnered up with Lek. And through that, I was able to meet her and see the first rescue onto the Cambodia Wildlife Sanctuary. And I asked her if I could accompany her on a rescue and do a documentary about her. And
Yeah.
she said, "If you can hang, you can come." And I said, "I'll figure out how to hang. I'm coming."
It was so strong to see this poor elephant who was really almost dying with you in the truck. And
Yes.
so, I mean, her face looked like a skull. I've seen this, skull in the nature in Africa, and that's what it looks like. And there was
Yes.
nothing left of the elephant, beauty. It was just so wrenching. I mean, it was heart wrenching to see that poor being. And when you know elephant, I was so lucky because I've seen elephant a totally different way. I've seen elephant in freedom. I've seen them surrounded by love. And so it's so different to see these animals are so abused, deeply abused, where their spirit is broken to be in
Yes.
servitude. It's monstrous.
It was a lot of people when they first see the film, they kind of do a double take and say, "Wait, is that an elephant?"
Yeah,
Because in the film, Lek rescues a 70-year-old partially
right.
blind Asian elephant and drives her literally across Thailand to freedom, just for anybody that hasn't seen it. And the elephant is so dehydrated that its temples are sunk in. And in the truck ride, Lek sings to the elephant and speaks to the elephant, and it almost sounds like a chanting. And she's able to take elephants that are at the brink of death or
Yeah.
severely emotionally wounded and literally bring them back with love. And
This is the thing that has struck me so much, and it's also what I shared in Africa is the love.
yes,
As we
yes,
know, elephant are so sensitive.
yes.
They're very close to us. They're better than us. I think they're kinder.
I think so too.
They're amazing. I mean, when you live with elephant, and when you're lucky enough to be with elephant in Africa who are free and wild, and you
Yes.
see the matriarch and you see the whole way they behave together, it's an extraordinary thing. And they forgive. They're amazing. They forgive, which is an incredible thing. So I always think they're better than us. So my experience is with baby elephant that have been traumatized because their mother was either killed next to them or they were lost in a deep well, or they're traumatized. And they arrive at the nursery at the Sheldrick in Nairobi, which I think you visited, and they are surrounded by the love of the other elephants. The other baby come right away and welcome them and take them in, and then they have an incredible keeper that sleep with them. They're like their nanny, they sleep with them every 3 hours. They have to get their milk. So their experience is an experience of love. They never have the experience, except for the original trauma, of being abused and chained all their lives as the elephant you showed in Thailand, which is so monstrous. So they are full beings of joy. And when you see these little elephants, when they survive, after they've been able to get over the tremendous shock of their original reason to be an orphan, they are full of life, full of happiness, full of joy, and they make friends for life with those elephants. And then what I love about the sheldrake is that they are then returned to freedom. They are taken all these years, you know. I mean, Angela, what Dame Daphne did originally was really to understand how elephant can survive and can be raised, and finding the right milk formula for them, which nobody had ever found before. And then this whole job they're doing for years, 10 years almost, to take that baby to full time being able to slowly go wild. And we were there not very long ago. We were there at Christmas, and you see this elephant that I've been given 10, 12, 15 years, sometimes 25 years of the shelter, and they come back and bring their babies to show them, because that was their human family. So they bring back their baby as soon as they're born, and they show them to the human family. Yeah, it's extraordinary. So what I'm saying is, elephants are so sensitive, they're so amazing, that to see what they go through in your film and what we know happens in this country of Asia is so heart-wrenching. It's incredible.
Yes. I think that is so beautifully phrased, and that's what I saw firsthand with Lek was, you know, you see what these elephants go through, and yeah, elephants are better than humans, because you say, how can they forgive? How can they have a life?
How can they forgive?
And find new relationships? And here these elephants are able to trust Lek, a human, and trust her staff with the same heart. And these elephants are taken in either as orphans at Sheldrake or orphans at Elephant Nature Park, and they're inducted into the herd. They find their herd. They find their friends.
They find their family.
Like we find at like recess, you know, we find the people.
We find our best family. We make our own families. Absolutely, absolutely.
And they literally make their own family. It's I've never seen anything like it, and they love again. Yeah.
It was an amazing picture seeing you under the elephants with Lek.
Oh,
incredible! I would never sit under an elephant belly. I mean, that was incredible. That was incredible.
I did not know that was going to happen. Lek took me into the field and she said, it's time for a snack. And I said, oh, great, cool. And she poured out her offering of peanuts and zucchinis and spread them out on the lawn. And then before we knew it, an elephant that's literally her daughter, an elephant named Fame, came and got over Lek and was joined by 6 and then 8 elephants. And it felt like I was in a waterfall of these trunks.
An incredible photo. Incredible.
Their ears were just these like giant butterflies. It was absolutely, and I only did that because they trust Lek. I was allowed that because they. So when you go, you will have to have that. I would love to make the introduction, and hopefully you will be in an elephant waterfall.
You should come to Africa with me.
Oh, I would be.
You need to come to Africa as soon as we can fly again.
Okay.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it. You need to meet Angela. If you haven't met Angela Sheldrake, she's another one. Now, she's a totally different person from Lek, but the love and the understanding and the depth of knowledge and incredible is incredible. So these are the people we need to help today. Because
we do.
As we know, we're all locked at home, so nobody can travel. Nobody can go anywhere. The parks are closed. I mean, all our friends who have wildlife and are taking care of them in the most responsible manner are, no money, basically, no money.
Yes,
so
no money.
I want to talk to you because I got this email originally on my Instagram from Lek, and I don't know her, but it was reaching out and saying, I can't feed my elephants.
Yes.
And I thought that is the most horrible thing. This person was given so much, we've done so much to save them. Yeah. What can we do? So I sent a lot of money right away, which is not, certainly not enough. And then I thought, let's do something. So let's try to raise some money for them.
Let's do it. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. Well, here's briefly the situation in Thailand with Lek. What's happening is at Elephant Nature Park. Elephant Nature Park largely runs on volunteers. People pay to volunteer because they want to be with the elephant as the elephant. They want to see elephants be elephants, and they want to, quote unquote, work for the elephant. They give elephants mud baths. A lot of these elephants have sensitive teeth and diets, so Lek has a special menu. So you cook for elephants, you cut sugarcane for elephants, and people humanely work with these elephants. Elephant Nature Park is the #1 tourist destination in Thailand because people just want to see elephants be elephants. With COVID, travel has shut down, so they don't have volunteers coming. So Lek has 3,000 animals, and I believe over 200 elephants at Elephant Nature Park that she's trying to feed. In addition, because for Lek it's always the elephant's health, she's been asked by a lot of neighboring trekking camps to help their elephants and to feed their elephants, because people aren't able to come, and even though it's not humane to ride an elephant, there are 37,000 elephants that risk starving. So
Starvation. Yeah.
Lek is saying, what I care about is the elephant. So she's feeding, I think the count is she's feeding 682 elephants at neighboring camps that aren't her own, showing up with huge trucks filled to the brim with food to feed these elephants. And she's also taking in stray elephants that are turned out loose, because a lot of people say, oh, let them be free, let them be
good.
wild.
That's better than being chained and die of starvation.
100%. The only complication is, Thailand has agriculture and also has cities. So these elephants don't have a place to go that's wild, and they've been broken to be in captivity, so they don't know those skills. So Lek is really having to dive for the rescue to help these elephants. And there is an organization called Trunks Up, which is fundraising and actually matching all donations. So if you donate, you'll be matched.
That's great.
I say this with the heaviest of heart, because I know anybody that's listening or watching is facing their own personal horrors, and there's so much we're going through. But
as long as we have food, we can share.
Okay. Yes.
I think that, people say, well, what can I do? How can I help? I'm just in my city or in my four walls in New York or in LA or in Chicago or anywhere or in the country. That's how you can do. Even a small donation. Even just feeding elephant for a day will make you part of this global world, and you will feel the energy of this. And I think it's so important that we are all able to feel the energy. I think the great thing about this, and sometimes my family is angry with me when I say that, the great thing about COVID is it put us all on pause. It made the whole world stop. It's almost like Mother Earth saying, you've been very naughty, now you go to your rooms.
That's what happened.
Don't you think? So we all gone to our rooms to think, and I hope that that's really what happened. And if you haven't thought enough, well, stay further in your room. So I really think this is what's happened. It's very dramatic, because all the business in the world and ours is suffering terribly. Obviously, those stores are open, but it's a time to pause, and it's a time to realize what's going on in the world. And if we can all connect, we are all connected right now because we're all staying in our room. So let's just think about the whole world can be together. And if we can connect to these animals, it's one good thing we're doing. One good thing we're doing, So let's try to really realize that. I mean, I know that, for example, I don't you can send $30 and that will give food for an elephant.
For a whole day.
For a day, right?
Yes.
So let's think that the $30 you send is feeding this giant who's starving for a day. And this extraordinary woman who's given her life. And she's so tiny and it's so wonderful. You must all watch the movie, by the way. It's on Amazon. You can just rent it on Amazon. It's amazing. So Love and Bananas is something you want to watch tonight if you haven't already. But when you realize how lovely she is and what an extraordinary person she is, to have done this, you can send your energy to her and partake in her energy, because she's an amazing person. And it's the same thing when you look at Angela Sheldrick and you connected with the Sheldrick Trust. Now, $9 will feed one elephant for one feeding of milk. And unfortunately, it's every 3 hours. So there's going to be more than one feeding. But, that's a small thing and one can do it. And I think $124 something like that feeds the whole herd for one feeding. They're all at home in the Sheldrick Trust in Nairobi. That's the nursery. The rest after that is when they go into Tsavo Park and get on the way to become wild again. They're still on milk dependent for quite a few years. But at least let's feed the nursery. Let's make sure this nursery gets their milk, And Angela has some milk, she's got milk until June. But basically after that, it's really hard. and
It's
there's
very
no money coming in. Nobody can go into Nairobi. Nobody can go anywhere. And she's kept all her uh, workers, and she has paid them, and she pays them all the time. So most people have sent back their people. Most of the lodge have sent back their staff, and that means the families are in dire strait, and poaching can happen again. Because people are going to be starving. So this is so important. She's keeping everyone paid, and it's an amazing thing.
And at the Sheldrake, they are live streaming the milk feedings, right?
Yes,
so you
they
can
are.
be part of that and have that
Yes.
to
Thank
watch
you for
that.
saying
Yeah.
absolutely. You can connect to them, you can see it. And the
Yes.
more you connect with these baby elephants, the more you enjoy to see their antics and their characters, and
Yes.
realize how they develop a character very early on. You see them at 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, they have a character. And then 20 years later, you see this and they have this personality and they make their friends, and they're friends for life. When they go in the wild, they were friends at the nursery, they're friends in nature. They raise their babies together. It's amazing. Yeah.
That's Lek is also Lek is totally engaged in social media. She's constantly posting the food delivery. She's constantly posting elephants. People kind of, if they visit, or even if they know these elephants just from their online presence, they get updates. They see the herd play. They see the herd eat, and they are individuals. These elephants have such unique personalities, and you can follow them online and have that connection to them through this, even though we are quarantined.
So,
Yeah.
Ashley, what is the proper way to connect it? What is their exact Instagram? Can you tell everybody?
Absolutely, yeah. You can go to Trunks Up. That is the Instagram to the organization that's matching. Also, if you go to Save Elephant Foundation or Lek Chylert's Instagram page, the link is in her bio to click it, and it directs you straight to that site. Again, $30 feeds a 7,000-pound elephant for an entire day. You're saving a life. And right now, any donations will be matched. So literally, whatever you have
You get 2 elephants.
will be matched. Yes.
So you'll save 2 elephants instead of 1.
You will exactly. You will buy a lunch.
One for 2.
Yes, a lunch for 2.
That's great. Do you have any plans to do another movie?
Well, I'm actually working on a television show right now. That's
Good.
what brought me to Africa for the first time at Olpejida Sanctuary.
Great place, yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's a show about the matriarchal lives of elephants around the world, and it features not only female scientists but female directors, writers, and producers, because it is a matriarchal society. We want to see the lens through a female lens, so we have a matriarchal team behind it, just in order to tell that story the way we think it should be told. So
that's wonderful.
Yes.
It's really important to go see the stories of these elephants in the wild. You can follow them if you go to Tsavo and you go to Itumba, which is the place where most of the elephants from the Sheldrake Trust are released and you see how the wild elephants come and get the young ones and teach them the way. So they teach them what plants are useful, where they teach them how to be wild. It's a very important thing, because most animals which have been born or were raised, with humans, don't know all this. Although the humans are so intelligent there and so caring and loving, but still they need the other elephant to teach them. So to see the wild one coming to get them is extraordinary. And they bring them back at night because they know they're still small. They could be hurt by lions, so they bring them back, and it's amazing.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, that's incredible. Wow. And if they're hurt, if an elephant is hurt, they know to go back to Sheldrake to be healed, because they know. So even the wild elephants, they come and hang out because they know that the people there love elephants. Yeah. So when you see what's going on with poaching, and then you see this in comparison, it's extraordinary. Yes. So it's we're involved with other elephant organizations, which I adore. I love Space for Giants, what they're doing around the world of Africa, and we're all very involved in the different countries, because situations can be very explosive, and change. And governments are not all pro-elephants. So you need to work
That's
around
right.
it sometimes.
That's
And
right.
sometimes it changes too. So we try to work really with elephants. My passion is to save elephants. So if we can save them, I was lucky to be introduced to elephant by Daphne Sheldrick. I read about
Okay.
her.
I was
Yeah,
curious your
yeah,
first
that's how I
encounter,
did it.
how
I
you.
read about her in the National Geographic, and I thought, oh my God, this woman raised baby elephants. I need to see her. So I went to Africa. I'd never gone to Africa. So I went to Kenya with my husband and my daughter, Alex, and we went to meet her. And I was blown away. It was like I met, a great soul and an incredible
Yes.
person. And when you
Yes.
met Daphne at that time, Daphne had a tiny little house, and she had Daphne had no money for herself whatsoever. She had the smallest of little terrace, and that's where all the elephants were. And all her life was about elephants. She had a little stove, like from the 50s. I mean, she was an incredible person. And
Yeah.
her daughter, Angela, has inherited all of Daphne's knowledge and has so much passion and strength. And Angela has taken it to the next level. She's got helicopter watching over Savo to make sure there's no poaching. Her
Yeah.
boys become pilots. She is so involved to the next level, taking it all the way so they're protected, not just raised, but they're protected after. And they have veterinaries all around Kenya. So if an elephant or a lion or anybody needs help,
Mhm.
they have a vet that can fly there and help. So there's so much work to be done to save the animals. And
That's right.
Kenya is one of the best countries for that because the government does not allow you to shoot. And it's very protective that way. So this is a very successful country for elephants, which is why one has to go and visit Kenya as much as you can. But the other
Yes.
country need help too, and the elephants need help. So we're trying to save the elephant in Botswana right now, which is very difficult.
Oh my
And
goodness. Botswana, yes. Yes, my dear, dear friend, Dr. Tempe Adams, is working in Elephants Without Borders in
yeah,
Botswana.
yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Well, you know what's happened, so it's very sad. I mean, there was a country that was protecting elephants,
That's
and with the
right.
change of government, suddenly it's no longer the case. So one has to really work around that and protect the elephant because it's the last great big sanctuary for elephants. These are all refugees, these elephants here. They all
Yes.
came from other countries where there were wars or too much poaching, and they came there because the Okavango Delta is like paradise for elephants. It's
Yes.
food and water, and it was so safe for them. So you could see it's the last place in the world you can sit among 300 elephants. It's extraordinary. So you have to protect these elephants and find ways to save them. So that's what we do with Space for Giants. But really,
Giants.
I
Yeah,
think
and
right now we need to really concentrate on feeding the ones that are not able to be naturally feeding themselves because the coronavirus is preventing all the trips. All the money that goes into these places comes through basically tourism.
tourists.
Tourists pays to go into to a place to see these animals, and that
Yeah.
supports the salaries of all the people working there and their families. So imagine when that stops. There's no social security.
Exactly.
There's no furlough. So either the
No.
places take care of them, as Angela is doing of her people completely, or they don't. And there it's very hard. So
Exactly, and it is so important to mention that in these countries, governments don't necessarily, this isn't the top priority for them, or they're not watching out for their elephants first. So it really does fall in the individual's hands, whether
right,
it's the shelter breaks or whether it's falling literally
right.
on Lek Tyler's shoulders. Lek means tiny and Thai, and I
The
think
tiny
she's
shoulder like the most
I think
powerful
she's
woman.
the most powerful woman in the world.
She's like Mother
Well,
Teresa. She's like Mother Teresa, a tiny little woman with so much power.
yes,
It's fantastic.
and it falls on these individual shoulders to literally save a species and make sure they're taken care of. So that's why it's important to help, and that your dollars. I mean, I've spent time with Lek. I've never seen anybody that just gives more. Anything that's given
Yeah,
to her just
exactly.
comes straight through and gives. that's the magic of how Elephant Nature Park and all of her satellite sanctuaries have been able to survive. Is it just passes straight through her and goes to the land, and these elephants thrive and take care of each other, and it just works. So we're all in an unprecedented crisis, but because of this, that volunteer effort and the volunteer funds have stopped, and she hasn't, and she's on these front lines helping elephants, and very much the same with the sheldrakes and Space for Giants and what's happening
Yeah,
in Africa.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's it's the great love of people would change
Yes.
the world, and
Yeah.
sometimes it just needs one person. I mean, when you think of Thailand and the horrible habits that they've had for so many years to enslave elephants and the pain
Yes.
that the elephants have gone through, the breaking down of the spirits is the most horrible thing you can watch, especially when you know the spirit of elephants. It's just
Right.
mind-boggling what they're doing. So to take on those small shoulders to change that, and one of the great moments in your movie too is when the owner originally, who had this place where the elephants were going crazy, turning around with their just to take people on their back in this horrendous habits that people have to just take a walk on or ride on elephants' back, which is so wrong.
That's right.
And he suddenly gets it that he can leave them free, and how wonderful it is. And it's such a moment. I mean, you can see him crying in your arms, and it's
Yes.
a release. It's such a release of the pain. And the family has lived for generations, doing this, and suddenly
Yes.
realizing that he can change it. And he's the one changing it. And then you see these elephants after being happy in the water and being normal elephants, and the joy of this man. It's an extraordinary
Absolutely.
thing. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I mean, that was a moment that we were completely unprepared for. Lex
It's
said,
so powerful. So
let's go on
powerful.
a jungle walk, and I was like, what's a jungle walk? And here we went, and literally before our eyes, once the chains were removed from these elephants, they began breaking branches and eating and
The
rubbing up against
elephants.
trees and being elephants. And Lek was translating what Mr. Chayapong, the owner of the sanctuary, was saying, but it was until we got back to Los Angeles with the footage that and translated again that I heard he was saying, my kids, I can't believe my kids are acting like this. I don't recognize them. I didn't know they had this in them. He
And
was
then,
always a little scared of his elephants because he'd always seen them in servitude. And to have this man even say, my kids, essentially
so
everybody wants the best for these elephants. And that's what Lek does, whether they are free and living humanely or whether they are still at trekking camps, she's going to go help that elephant no matter where they are or what state they're in. And even as I was reading her posts and listening to her recent interviews, she said, we have to put aside what humanity has done. We have to
yes.
immediately forgive, even if they have enslaved these elephants. It's not the time for that now. The time is just to take care of. We can't turn our
It's
back on these silent
it's so
creatures.
interesting you're saying that, because I think the time right now is not to think of all the horrible things that have happened in the past,
No,
is to look for the future and to
that's right.
see it with confidence and trust, and
Yes,
see that we are going to create another world, a world of love. And that's what
yes.
our missions are, really, you know,
Now,
through
I
the
mean, I think.
elephant or through, I
Mhm.
mean, with extraordinary people. We're lucky, you and I, that we've met these extraordinary people who are giving their life for something
Yes,
that is bigger than them. And I think that is really where we're going. And I hope that when we all wake up from this being at home in our rooms, we will have changed enough, that we can see the things we don't need to do, and have simplify our lives to realize that there is a future that can be a lot better. We don't need to
that's right.
pollute. We don't need to do all the things we're doing. We don't need to cut down all these trees. We don't need to destroy those forests. You don't need to take the home of the orangutan. We don't need to do all these things. We don't
That's
need
right.
to do these things. We can change, and we can live in different ways.
How do you find organizations to partner with? I mean, your
It
Chantecaille
comes.
is so authentic. How do you find these people? You know.
I think it comes to us. It's like
Yeah.
everything in life. It's an energy thing. So for some reason, I'm intrigued, or think of an animal thinking, and then we're very we are we're only interested in people who live in the bush and do the work there. I always say, if you have an office in Washington, we cannot work with you. we, only, we only work with people who are truly giving their life and being there and doing it, so that the money goes all to the work. So there's no money going anywhere beside the work directly with the animals. We work with the lion guardians, extraordinary women too. We'll talk about that another day. Doing this, saving the lions. So it's always people who live right there and do the job right there, and that comes to us that way.
Yeah.
So
how are you, even, I see these incredible photos of you traveling, and how are you finding, even in quarantine, how are you finding a way to, like, what is your morning? Do you have a morning routine? Do you have something that is able to transport you mentally to?
that's very sweet of you to ask. When I get up in the morning, I stay in bed for a little while and I thank the world for everything we have. That's the first thing to do, is gratitude. And really thinking of how marvelous, how lucky we are, and how lucky I am to be in a house near the ocean with my family, and that we're all, able to really spend time together and talk and think. And so it's very, very, I know that our business is diminishing every day, and I try to really help our people and try to work. So I spend a lot of time on the damn computer, with all of those times of sharing our faces and talking to people, which is a lot, but it's good because we can connect. And that's a great thing. Imagine being locked 20 years ago. We wouldn't be able to connect. So this is an incredible thing.
It is.
And then I live with my rose water next to me. If I don't have my spare rose water, so first thing in the morning, rose de mai, absolutely.
Yes.
And that's indispensable. And then we launched this cream this year called CBD cream. It's a CBD cream made of really good hemp oil. And it's made with other, there's actually stem cell of cannabis, but it's not the THC one you want to get you high. It's just one that really is an anti-inflammatory and a healer. And we have also other things in it. They all really makes an incredibly anti-irritant, anti-stress cream. So it's perfect time to have it. So we're using that. It's called CBD 300 for face and body. And I usually use, I have a dry skin, so I use, in the morning I use our biolifting serum after the rose, and then I use one or two of the cream that we have, either the rose de mai cream if I feel need the moisture, or I use the biolifting cream. And then at night I sleep in a mask, because our masks are like creams, and then you wake up and you look good. So if I'm red, I sleep with the jasmine and lily healing mask. If I'm just feeling that I've been in the sun and I need healing, I sleep in the gold mask. So that's my secrets. You have it all.
Wow. Wow. We all have it all.
But honestly, the most important thing is really to take time to meditate. And I think this is the best time we have to. It doesn't have to be like, chanting for hours. It's not what I'm doing. It's really communicating with the world and projecting your energy, receiving, connecting with your higher self, and really being driven that way. So,
absolutely, yeah. And I think, even the earth has stopped to such a degree that seismologists are actually feeling, I think in some cities the vibrations of human movement has dropped by 50%.
Yes, or even
so
more.
Much so that even more so that they can actually hear the moving of plates, tectonic plates, and it's like hearing a cell phone in a library as opposed to a football stadium. So it really does give us a chance to connect to Earth. And yes, even if we are landlocked in the United States, where we don't have wild elephants as part of our culture, we can do something to help. And I think this pandemic, as horrific as it is showing how connected Earth is, how connected we all are, and that's Mother Nature.
The other thing that I hope we realize is how much we need the wild spaces, how much we need the wild. The connection to the wild is our birthright, really. We are animals of the wild, and we're supposed to be the most intelligent. not sure we are who we're supposed to be. And we need the wild, we need the space, we need the other animals, we need all that. And if we don't remember that we're deeply, deeply connected to this, we're only functioning at half mast.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
when you see how the pollution has gone down, when you see cities that were the most polluted in the world, like New Delhi, which was brown all the day. I don't know if you've been to New Delhi, it's shocking. Or other countries, and suddenly you can see blue sky, and you can see the Himalaya, which they haven't seen in like 40 years.
Yes.
So it's an incredible thing. Or you see Venice, and you see the ocean in Venice suddenly clean. I mean,
and you see jellyfish going through the canals.
I know, it's incredible. So we can, with relatively short time, we can fix a lot of things. We don't have to destroy the earth. We can fix it.
We can. That is clear in this time.
Yeah.
I mean, in a matter of months, the earth is restoring itself.
Exactly. It just needs us to stop.
It needs us to stop. Yes.
It needs us to stop. That's all.
Climate change. We can do it. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
So I hope that when we come out, there won't be a frantic rush to go back to before. I hope that everybody will have enjoyed the things that they will, have. I mean, friends of mine say, "I'm hearing the birds sing. I'm hearing all this," and they weren't hearing before. So hopefully, people will remember what it is when it's slower and more quiet. And so many things we don't need. I don't think anybody's going to go back to work in an office 5 days a week. We all know we can work from home. I would imagine that we can work at the most 2 or 3 days in an office. It's not needed. That will change. Yes. I think you will realize that you don't need to be moving back and forth so much because you're staying home more. Right. I think children will not go to school 5 days a week the same way. I think all of that is going to change, which will change the energy we take to move. And when we start not moving as much, hopefully, we will change a lot of things on the earth.
Yes, absolutely.
But you and I still have to go to Africa together.
I'm coming. I will absolutely take you up on. I would absolutely love to see Africa with you. Yes.
Good.
Yeah, and I mean, also what's coming out of this is I've heard incredible stories of connection within family, and because and special gifts that mothers and fathers are passing on to their children.
Yes.
Children are becoming cooks, or children are getting involved in baking, or children are finding new interests, and there's really that connection to that. There's a less of a connection to digital and more of a connection to each other, and I think that's something that's been so lost, is that human connection. And
you are so right, particularly about the cooking. I've seen so many people cook together, and they're all posting their cooking, and they're enjoying what they've done. It's fun. We have a granddaughter who's 6 years old, and it's been so much fun to see her learn so many things. I mean, she's a wild one. She's a cleaner, she's an organizer, she's fantastic. But she loves to do all these things with us. She's so happy. So much joy comes from that, And for us, we don't see her enough in New York because we're always working. So here, finally, we can all enjoy each other. It's amazing.
Yes. It's amazing when what was so urgent is now put in perspective.
Yes, exactly.
And the busy work is put in perspective. Yeah.
I don't know that we're ever going to need as much clothes as we used to think we needed.
I know. I'm wearing the same.
I know.
I was like, my goodness, I'm in the same rotation of the same uniform.
Exactly.
And I like it.
Yeah, exactly. And I like it too.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, Ashley, I think our time is up. As much as I would think with you for all day, it was wonderful, wonderful.
It was just beautiful to talk to you and hear your thoughts of this time and connect. And yes, thank you so much. Thank you for all of your work you've done for Mother Earth and for elephants.
Well, thank you for making this great movie and caring so much. And I know it's just the beginning. Your life will be amazing. I can't wait to see all the things you do.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Just to give a last shout out, you can go to Trunks Up. You can go to Lake Chilert. You can go to Elephant Nature Park. to get involved with Thailand's Asian elephants and donate through all the links in bio, your donation will be matched today, and $30 buys lunch for 2 elephants for 2 days. So yes.
And you can do the same thing. You can connect to the Sheldrake Trust, and you can give money to get milk for those baby elephants. And it won't be very expensive. You'll be surprised how little it is and how much you can do. Thank you all for watching. Thank you. Thank you for the conversation.
Thank you for the conversation. Continued health and safety. Yes.
You too. You too. Bye.
Bye.